welcome to this edition of HCISD Highlights. I'm Dravin Hill, a senior from Harlingen High School. With me this afternoon is Loera, registered nurse and HCISD head nurse. Tell us a little bit about your medical background.
So I do want to say I am a graduate of HCISD. I started my healthcare journey here at HCISD through the HOSA program, which is the Health Occupation Students of America. I attended that program at the Harlingen High School, at the Cardinal campus. While I was there, I had the opportunity to be able to work at the hospital half a day. So I was in their co-op program as well, where I came to school half a day and worked half a day. Through there, I got that experience in the hospital setting. I then married and had children, and 10 years later decided to pursue my passion for nursing. And I started at Valley Baptist Medical Center as a labor and delivery nurse and did that for 12 years. I was able I was blessed to be able to assist families bring their babies into this world, right? And so then I chose Valley Baptist because I wanted to be able to give back to the hospital that gave so much into me growing up. Same thing with HCISD. I came to work with HCISD because I wanted to give into the district that gave so much to me in my school age years.
What inspired you to become a school nurse?
Oh, nursing was a lifelong dream for me. As a child, I would pretend to be a nurse, and I'd care for my family members and even my animals. I'm a firm believer that we are blessed with a gifting. God blessed me with the gift of service, so then I put that to use in serving the community through their healthcare needs, right? I started off with labor and delivery because I wanted to be able to provide that care to those new mamas that were bringing babies in, and that to be able to work with them in that transition, to be able to facilitate it for them as much as possible and give them that comfort and those measures. So from there, when my children were in school, then the hospital hours start to become very long hours for us. So they're 12, 13, 14-hour shifts sometimes. So then the school nursing opportunity came up, and I went ahead and took it to be able to spend more time with my children. We have, the weekends off, holidays, summers, right? So I enjoyed the schedule of it. And because I had that passion for caring for others, it just came naturally for me to be able to care in any setting, any nursing setting that I'm in.
Can you tell me about your previous experiences helping children manage chronic conditions?
So prior to becoming the head nurse here, I was a campus nurse at Milam Elementary, which is now Milam Dual Language Academy. And I was there for 8 years. I was able to manage students with different health conditions such as asthma, diabetes, both type 1 and type 2, severe allergies, and students that required assistance with seizures, right? First onsets of seizures. And this prepared me for the role that I'm in today, to be able to better serve the nurses throughout the district and guide them in the things that they need, right? In whatever it is that I can help them with.
What are the protocols when a student has an allergic reaction?
So when a student has an allergic reaction, first we want to make sure that our parents are making us aware, right? We want to make sure that the parents notify the nurse. It's important that they communicate with the campus nurse where their child goes to school. The nurse will provide them with the paperwork that needs to be signed by the doctor to administer medication at school in the case of an allergic reaction, right? We always want to be prepared. So when they notify the nurse gives them the action plan. It's called an anaphylaxis action plan. And that gets filled out. The nurse will train everybody in the campus on how to respond in the case of an emergency, on how to administer the emergency medication, which is called epinephrine. And so then at that point, then we just make everybody vigilant and aware. If a child has a severe allergy to a certain food, then what we do is we notify the teacher as well, right? And we make sure that the notifications are sent out appropriately So that if, let's say, for example, a child has a peanut allergy, right? We make sure that the classroom has a peanut allergy awareness, right? That they're alert, that they're aware that somebody in the classroom has a peanut allergy, so we try to keep peanuts out of there, right? To minimize any risks or potentials for an allergic reaction. If there is a reaction at some point, then of course we administer the medication and we activate EMS. Sometimes though, we have students that we aren't aware that they have an allergy, or the parents weren't aware, right? It's their first initial allergic reaction that they receive. At that point, then we always want to make sure that we maintain a patent airway, which makes sure that the airway is good and breathing out times. We notify the parent and EMS so that way we can get help right away. If at any point it's needed, then we go ahead and start CPR if it gets to the point of if it gets to that point, right? We're also working with the campus principals to increase the number of individuals on their campuses that are CPR certified, so that we have more individuals throughout the district that are ready and prepared to be able to respond in the case of an emergency.
Can students store medication with the school nurse?
Yes. So all medications that are going to be on campus do need to go through the campus nurse. We need to make sure that the nurse will verify that there's a doctor's order, that it contains all the necessary information that it is needed for the nurse to administer the medication under the Texas Board of Nursing scope of practice, right? The Texas Board of Nursing. Students in middle school and high school, if they're going to be a self-carry, then we just verify that the doctor did indicate on there that the child can carry their own medications. And then we ask that they demonstrate to us that they're able to administer their own medication, so that the nurse will check off on them and then they're able to carry their meds with them. Examples of that would be like inhalers and EpiPens, right? We do that with our middle school and high school. We do ask that our elementaries, because of the backpacks being they don't go from class to class, or the students go outside and play, then that the nurse always has the emergency medication in the office, so that when she's called, she can respond with the medication.
What vaccines do students need before entering college?
So it is required that all students attending that are going to be enrolling into a university or college, that they receive a meningitis vaccine. We want to make sure that we're providing any resources available to our students. They would need to provide proof that they received the vaccine within the last 5 years. So as of right now, the only required vaccine that is done, that's not already required in our district, is the meningitis. We do have a state immunization requirement that we follow in the district, that all students enrolled in the district, or any Texas school, right, should follow these requirements. If any student does not have the required vaccines, then they aren't able to attend school until they're up to date. We do try to provide any type of resources for the families. If it's that they're unable to get it somewhere, then we try to provide the resources available to them, so that it minimizes any time that they have to be out. From there, because they already have the required vaccines that the state requires for them to be in a school district, then the meningitis would be the only one that they would require to proceed into college.
Are there any vaccinations clinics coming up?
As of right now, we don't have one scheduled. We have been in partnership. This past spring, we partnered with ProCare Health Services, who started providing vaccines for our high school students. We scheduled all high schools during the springtime for our students to have the opportunity to come and get the meningitis vaccine, especially because in the spring, right, they're going to graduate already in May. We called it Vaccinate Before You Graduate. We made it available to all seniors so that they can receive the vaccine and be prepared, ready to go, right? We want to minimize any barriers that they may have and make a smooth transition from high school to college, so that they have that good transition and nothing that's holding them back.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Loera. That was very informative. Well, that does it for today for this edition of HCISD. Until next time, I'm Dravin Hill.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it.